This is me. My name is Lucas. My wife Kristah and I make movies. Mostly documentaries, but we've had a chance to do some really interesting projects. In 2012, we got an invitation by a group called Portion for Orphans to travel to Thailand and document an organization that was taking care of abandoned children and orphans in South Asia. In early 2013, we did just that. The flight in was uneventful, first from Dallas to Tokyo, where we sat in our seats for 13 hours straight, with no leg stretching or even getting up. A flight to Bangkok with an aisle seat, and then a regional flight to Kon Kaen, Thailand, where we would spend the next 4 days. We had been invited to document an organization that apparently was doing great things. After the 3 days of travel, we finally were ready to see just how great.
Well, we just got here. We're pretty tired. Been up for about over 24 hours. With just a little bit of sleep, so gonna get rested up even though it's only like 9 a.m. or something here. It feels like 9 p.m.
So today is January 12th, which may seem like any other day, but in Thailand, it's Children's Day, which is a national celebration for kids across this country.
This country is a place of great dreams, and they've truly set their sights on a bright future. But because of poverty in some places, they still deal with some very difficult challenges. For instance, many children in Thailand are affected by or even have the unfortune of living with HIV or AIDS. And it's strange to think on Children's Day that some children out there having a great time, their experience would be marred by uncertainty and fear and even illness. And that's not nearly as true for the children who live at House of Mercy.
House of Mercy is a place for HIV kids to live, learn, play, feel love, find a fulfilling life. The kids here are full of joy and hope for the future, because House of Mercy isn't an orphanage, it's a children's village.
We are in Kon Kaen, which is a big city in the northeast of Thailand. This is House of Mercy's Kon Kaen branch, and it is a children's home for children who are HIV positive.
When when they got started, they got 2 kids, and these were 2 of the first ones that they had, named Sutri and Dumtan. They were so skinny, their bellies were very enlarged and hardened from malnutrition. They couldn't sit up, they couldn't feed themselves, they couldn't speak. They were about 15 months old. And so he said on the drive home, it was about a 7-hour drive home to House of Mercy, and he said 3 different times they stopped because they thought the girl, Sutri, had died. She just, they thought she'd stopped breathing. They had to stop the car and make sure she was still alive. But through a lot of nutrition and prayer and just compassion and taking care of them, they now are healthy. Sutri is involved in dance, and she goes to school, loves to sing. Dumtan, same, he's in school and likes to play sports, and I've seen him around here a number of times with shovels and tools. I mean, he's just a hard worker is what Rob was telling us. And so they have a very fulfilling, from what we can tell, a happy life because of House of Mercy. It's an amazing thing to see these kids that would have died. I mean, they would have died otherwise. But House of Mercy took them in and changed their life, and actually in many ways gave them life, gave them the opportunity to live.
If there's a kid out there with HIV, typically they got it from their parents, and because those parents haven't had the level of care, they've died. But if they've got a network in the community, they have a very good chance of survival. Most of these kids, however, didn't have that network. So somebody who knew them, or they ended up in hospital or something, and they brought them here, where they receive the level of care that is required. And they have a normal life expectancy. Like the life expectancy of somebody without the virus. They have that when they're in here. Outside, they have a very short life expectancy. I was unimpressed with the gap between the Bible saying go out and fix problems and be a good guy and help where you can, and the life I was almost expected to live within the church. But I could at least start throwing stuff at it to try and fix it, and I couldn't.
อันนั้นของส่วนรวมใช่ไหมเนี่ย
ผมไม่รู้คุณพูดถึงอะไรผมมีงานอยู่คุณหมายถึงping pong ใช่ไหมครับที่จะให้ Sorry, we have a ping pong dispute. แม่เซนสมัครได้
มันหวง
And then I read Isaiah 61. Basically says there are bad things, and it's your job to bring the solution to it. And then it was just kind of like, oh, well, I guess I could be a missionary. And then I did.
This is the smallest of 3 children's villages that Mercy International has founded in Thailand. This one has about 30 HIV or AIDS children, and it's grown to that size over the last roughly 10 years. Unfortunately, the land that they have been leasing for that time is going to be taken away. So it means that they have to find a new home for those 30 beautiful children. Most organizations would say, what are we going to do? We have a real problem. Not Mercy International. They're using this as an opportunity to expand and grow their ministry in a big way. We're on the outskirts of Kon Kaen, Thailand's 5th largest city. As you can imagine, in any large city in the world, there will probably be many children who are affected by HIV and AIDS. You can see behind me the construction of a children's village that, when it's finished, will be able to house up to 80 children with HIV or AIDS.
Right, we've started to build a completely new homes for the kids because the ones they're in now are they have to move out this year.
Well, as you can see, we've been building a new home for the 36 HIV positive kids who are in the Mercy Orphanage at Kon Kaen. We've got 2 houses, 1 2-storey, a single storey underway, and the dining room, kitchen, laundry complex pretty much finished.
For us, a children's village is a area where we have a number of homes that are set up with carers in the home, so the children actually have their own home, their own carer, and it's a village just of children.
Building 3 houses and kitchen for the kids who have HIV. Yeah.
Very cool. So what drew you to this kind of project?
Sort of just heard about it, was finishing school and was like, I'm not doing anything, I might as well come and help people. And yeah, that was pretty much it.
So what would you say to other people that are considering coming?
Go for it. It'll change your life and it's changed mine. I've been here 3 times in the last year, so you know, I'll probably be here for the rest of my life. So I probably won't have any money, but it's good.
Look, I've been coming to Thailand to visit the Mercy orphanages for I think 6 years now. This is my 10th visit. I have been, I've just been overawed, I guess, by the work that's being done here with these kids. They're very special kids. I've learnt so much. I guess I feel this whole thing has changed my heart so much. We live very self-sufficient lives in our Western cultures, and you come here and you just get a whole new picture.
Today we've been gathering the vision, I feel like, for this new children's village that they're working on. You hear children's village and that can, to me, mean, I don't even know what that means, but we've walked around here and it means there's going to be multiple homes for kids where it's going to feel like a home. They've got their bedrooms and bathrooms and a living area, and there's going to be a place for the caregivers to stay. And they're really nice. I mean, it's not just 4 walls and a roof. And so that's been really neat to see. And they're also going to have a huge kitchen, a huge playground. There's just this great team here that's working really hard on building this village for these kids. And I think it's really great. You think of orphanage like just an institution, a bunch of kids and one person watching out over them, but this really does feel like it's going to be more of a home for them. So it's really neat.
Because I'm ringing the wrong one, I'm ringing Australia.
Tick took us to visit a family of 3. The mother has HIV, the grandmother can hardly hear or see, and the son can't find work. We were told that all of them are mentally challenged in some way. They were extremely friendly and made sure we had a place to sit and offered us something to eat.
Oh, she said that probably look a bit cold, so you stay in the sun.
The son was not able to finish his education past about 3rd grade. Because of this, he was not able to work, so apparently he spends his days helping weave rugs at the local temple. His mother told us that if there is an opening, they would like to get him on as a monk. We were told that many poor families hope for this, because it means one less mouth to feed. The only one that worked out of the 3 was the mother. She spends most of her days laboring in the rice fields where there is work sometimes. This brings in about the equivalent of $5 to $7 a day, This is enough to live on if you live alone, but with 3, the budget is more than stretched.
"35, 40, moved." And the clouds closed up again and she just stood there.
Thailand is known for its open-air markets. We got a chance to visit a number of them along our journey, but one of the first was the night market in Kon Kaen. It was a great way to get broken into the idea. You could get any kind of food that you could imagine, as long as you can only imagine Thai food, of course.
So we finished our time here in Kon Kaen and we're packing up, getting ready to head to the next place, which is going to be Pabon. So it's been fun. It's what?
Pabon.
Pabon? Lobby. Pabon. Pokemon? What is it?
Pabon.
Pinch your bum.
This garden paradise is called House of Mercy, Pabon. As we drove out of the nearby mountain range and first laid our eyes on it, it looked most like a tourist resort. An amazing amount of effort and attention to aesthetics and detail has obviously gone into this place. Although it's beautiful, it's not a resort, it's a children's village.
History has some children's villages. The great men of faith that opened homes for children in Britain, Dr. Bernardo, George Mueller, they established children's villages. I wasn't aware of that when I began my one. I knew of them, but I didn't know they called them or termed them as villages then.
Many of the children that live here are orphans, or the kids of HIV victims. They live in individual houses, and each house has a house mother who takes care of the kids in their house. They operate like little families, and in fact, for many of these kids, the group that they live with is the only family that they have. We've seen some orphans in other places in the world, and we had a certain expectation coming here. We expected to see dirty, underfed children with sad faces and disheveled clothes, because that's what you often see in countries covered in poverty. However, here, that was simply not the case. The children here are happy and have a truly good life. As soon as we stepped foot in this place, we received hugs from toddlers and greetings from smiling faces.
What's your name?
is people who've told me that we make our villages too nice and our homes too nice, that after all these are only poor children, the money could be used in other ways. I disagree with that strongly. I have what I feel is a theological reason, is because I know that I deserve nothing, but my God and Lord Jesus has really always blessed me in wonderful ways, and he said that he'd go and prepare a place for me forever, and I believe that's going to be the greatest place that anyone could imagine. So I just want to do the same thing for his children. They're here. These are his children.
My name's Nigel and I volunteer here at House of Mercy. There's lots of needs in the world. Obviously there's always something good that can be done. There's always a need that needs to be addressed. So when I came back from this place the first time, I felt like, okay, well, I've got to do something. I can't do everything, but I've got to do at least something, and this was the place that I chose. So I started sponsoring a young girl here that was only 5 at the time. She's 13 now. So that sort of got me connected to this place here. Everything is interconnected. Everything that happens to one thing will affect something else, you know what I mean? And I guess the fabric of life is that we're all connected, and that's part of God's plan. God's desire is for people to have relationship, to be connected to each other, to care and to love and to interact, and ultimately with Him.
House of Mercy Pabon is a fully functional children's village, and the kids have everything they need right here at their fingertips. These kids are truly taken care of. This place is not just good by Thailand standards, it's good by any standard in the world. It's a set of high-quality facilities that provide everything that the children need. Many of the children that are here have similar stories of how they came here. Jubjang was born in a mountain tribal village and therefore didn't speak Thai. At a young age, her parents died in a car accident. She was then given to her grandparents to be looked after. Sometime later, her grandparents were also killed in a car accident. When she came to the House of Mercy, she had a very hard time because she didn't speak the language. It took years of hard work, but now she has been here 10 years and is in 11th grade, and she's doing great. As you listen through most of these kids' stories, it seems that the majority of them come from parents that could not or would not take care of them. The children get passed off to the grandparents, who quickly find it too much of a financial strain to feed the extra mouths. We even heard of one story of 2 siblings whose father divorced and was left to take care of them. He packed them into the car and told them they were going to the uncle's house. When they stopped to go to the restroom along the side of the road in the middle of nowhere, the father left them and was never heard from again. With all these terrible, sad stories, it is amazing how hopeful and full of life all of the children here are. House of Mercy Pabon has about 100 kids that live here full-time. As if that were not enough, they saw a need for quality education, not only for their own kids, but for the surrounding community. In light of this, they built a school that is from elementary to high school and currently educates 1,500 students. It's connected to House of Mercy's property, and the kids that live on site can walk the 100 meters to school every morning. It's also free for the local village children. Just like everything else House of Mercy does, the school campus is immaculate. It looks a lot like an American university campus in the way that it's laid out. House of Mercy is changing this community in a big way.
So here's to the shadow.
House of Mercy also has a farm nearby.
We get out here and there's this beautiful farm. They aren't growing all of their food for the kids, but they are growing a lot of what they eat often, like their fruits and eggplant and chili peppers, and they also have a bunch of ducks and a couple of chickens. So they're getting their eggs and they're getting some meat, and they're looking to grow this, but it's just one of the ways that they're trying to help save on cost, provide for themselves, and it gives the kids a good opportunity too to have a place to come and help out.
Take a deep breath and look inside. Gotta fight the urge to run and hide. Lift your face up and hold it high. Kick the door and break down the lie. Drop the hurt that you now know. Take the pain and let it go. So here's to the shattered lives, into the broken minds. You're not alone, no, not tonight. Someone cares, just hold on tight. And cross the river and cross it slow. Keep your head up steady as you go. Another day and another night. Everything is gonna be alright. Yeah, everything's gonna be alright. Yeah, everything is gonna be alright. Yeah, everything is gonna be alright. Yeah, everything is gonna be alright.
Laundry night.
This is where volunteer teams stay when they come.
There he is. Whoa. Look at the size of that guy. Here he goes. My heart is beating. Never seen one like this. Ooh, he's pinching. Look, oh, he's holding on. He's pinching for all he's got. He's trying to sting.
We also got a chance to do some community outreach while we were here. We took a few bags of rice to some people in a nearby village who were in need.
We're up in the mountains of Pabon, and we are driving through these poor villages delivering rice to people who don't have a lot of food, and it's very old people living with very young grandchildren, and they just can't provide for them. And we come around a corner and see this wat, which is a temple, and it's just clean and beautiful and shining, but across the street there's trash everywhere, and it's striking.
Our stay here has been amazing. We even took some time to see some of the local sites on our day off. We went on a community outreach run with one of the House of Mercy staff named Tick. She took us to visit an elderly woman who was HIV positive. As if that were not enough to deal with, this woman was also blind and very feeble. Tick regularly visits her, bringing provisions that she needs because she rarely, if ever, leaves her house. She listens to the radio all day long in her little hut, and because of this, she was more up to date on American news than we were, informing us that there was a flu epidemic somewhere in the States that had claimed a number of lives. We spent about an hour with her, and she was very pleasant. She had a great sense of humor and joked around with us quite a lot. Tick told us that she recognized people by the feel of their hands. She said if we came back to visit her, she could feel our hands and remember our names. Tick also told us that a few weeks ago someone was coming and stealing food from her little refrigerator. The story was a little confusing, but apparently it got all sorted out. She told us that in her head we were very beautiful and handsome. She spoke a blessing over us, wishing us hundreds of children, and she reminisced about her own children. We saw a number of temples and holy places while we were in Thailand, but the one we visited outside of Phrae was the most amazing. It was enormous and was more like a small city of religious activity unto itself. We got the impression that a lot of the local inhabitants' money goes into these places. It was explained to us that the monks who live at a temple walk the streets in the mornings to get money offerings from the people. Within the temples as well, there are donation boxes everywhere. The most opulent places we saw while we were here were the religious structures. In many cases, the places where these temples sat were surrounded by fairly intense poverty. I couldn't help but imagine some of the extremely poor people bringing the little money they had into a temple like this, hoping for something better. We were told that at this temple complex, the monks feed 300 stray dogs each night. They are known for their charity. The strange irony is that the lady that took us here visited and delivered food to a hungry family of people that lived less than a kilometer from this temple. The beauty and grandeur of a place like this does inspire a feeling of awe, but it left us wondering what a place like this does for the local homeless, hungry, and hopeless. Because of our questions about how the Buddhist temples help the poor, we decided to go to a well-known temple in Chiang Mai and ask a monk. We talked to 2 different monks about this issue. We asked Ole what the meaning of life was. He said that to help others is the reason for being alive. We followed this up by asking what Buddhism does to help the poor, hungry, and homeless.
Yeah, but not to give them money, but give like a teaching to them.
His response was that they teach them the Buddhist way of life. He said giving money doesn't help, but the Buddhist mindset would. He was not the only monk that told us this.
Got like a building.
The next morning, we packed up and got on the road again. On one of our days off, we got a chance to hang out in the rainforest.
Lucas,
yeah.
Where are you from?
Texas, USA.
Oh, America, Lucas. I got it. Okay. This way, sir. Nice to meet you. You know my name, Lucas?
Cash.
Wow,
Johnny Cash.
You. Yes. Bye, Lucas.
There was a series of zip lines that were originally built by a scientific team from New Zealand to study the forest. But now it's a tourist attraction. Soaring over the canopy, you can get a sense of the vast stretches of forested mountains. Although the footage wasn't very good on account of the trembling hands that held the camera, we had a great time.
Oh, let's up again. Okay. Okay, watch your leg. Very good.
Afterwards, we even climbed the 3 million stairs through the jungle to see a really great waterfall.
House of Mercy Preah is nestled between the Pabon Nam and Pulung mountain ranges. It seems like each location we visit is more beautiful than the last. This is one of the newest centers, and it houses 23 children. Most of them are between the ages of 1 and 4 years old. From what we've learned, there are a number of people in Thailand who don't get married because the dowry is so expensive. This leaves a multitude of children without the stability of a long-term marriage. A lot of the kids here at House of Mercy have a similar story, that their parents passed them off to the grandparents, but the grandparents couldn't take care of them, so they brought them here. Being a fairly new site, there are parts of this location that are still being built. From what we've seen so far, it's a lot nicer than childcare places we've seen even in the States. They're inspected and cleared to house up to 80 children, but right now they only have the 23. John and Sharon, the primary caretakers here, said they have plans to take on about 4 new babies each year. So eventually they'll fill that number. They even have plans to build a school for the kids right here on the property. Right now they're homeschooling the ones that are old enough to go to school. The effects of the education is especially seen as we've talked to the kids in our own language. They all are bilingual. It's amazing to hear them even when they are playing using crisp Australian accented English. As you can imagine, just this alone almost ensures them future occupation. In an economy that is constantly becoming more globalized, the need for English-speaking Thais will only grow.
I don't like the term orphanage, and I encourage people never to use it of our homes here in Thailand for a number of reasons. One of them, of course, it puts a stigma on a child that they come from an orphanage, and that makes them different in a very negative way. And I think we're trying to make our children not negative at all. We're wanting to make them very positive people who feel they have a great future. Their past may have not been so good, but their future is going to be brilliant.
with a toolkit, I have very few tools in that. The reason, if I have too many, I lose them all. So the kids is having a great time.
Is this pretty common?
You know, kids got to be kids, and I think kids need this sort of environment to be able to grow up and know what's what. So these guys are doing good. Thank you. Can you put it in a box? Can you put it in a box? Put it in a box, guys. Put it in a box. Yeah, that's what it's about. Do it yourself, I don't have to do it. Okay, guys, you done it. You done it. Okay. Can you take it to the bike? Yeah. Put it by the bike.
Although there are only 23 kids here now, this center is looking at a bright, amazing future of growth and expansion.
We met a young man in town whose name was Jane. We were interested because he had a neat little photography and graphic design shop. He kindly showed us some of his work. We were told while in Pabon that a young boy and his two sisters got left on the side of the road. We didn't learn until after our meeting with Jane that that little boy was him. He was one of the first kids that House of Mercy Foundation took in, and he is one of their great success stories. He and a friend even sang some songs for us while we hung out with them. We've had an amazing time, not only learning about Thailand, but seeing a wonderful idea put into action. The 3 children's villages are changing lives and making a difference.